let me tell you a little story. It's a Scottish story, so you know it's good. And it's a ridiculous story. So, true story. There was a guy. This is only within the last 2 weeks, I think, or even within the last week. He was caught in Scotland being a nonce, doing noncey things, hanging around kids and stuff like that. I believe. I don't know the specifics, but I got a general gist from what I read. And some people, locals, saw this nonce doing noncey things, and so they apprehended him. And one guy specifically, I don't know if he was particularly big or knew martial arts or anything like that, but he pinned the guy to the ground and apprehended him until the police arrived. So the police arrived, they arrested the nonce, took him away. They then arrested the guy that pinned him down, and he's going to court. He's going to court for helping. He's going to court for pinning a nonce down and for the police until the police arrived. He's going to court for that. And I shared this story on a couple of different social media outlets. And one of the things that became very apparent to me straight away was other people's perception of Great Britain now. And that is that we are a joke country. We are a clown show to them. It's amazing that we have become the joke of the world in England here, in Britain here. And they just can't believe it. They're like, I'm missing something here, aren't I? He was arrested for holding the guy down until the police arrived. Yes, that's exactly what happened. He was arrested for holding the guy down until the police arrived. And they can't believe it. They're just like, wow, you've got some sick laws in Britain. You've got some disgusting laws in Britain. And I wholeheartedly agree with them. They're absolutely right. And I agree with them that Britain is a joke country. It really is just a joke country now. Another example of the police just being an absolute joke was Keir Starmer's lockdown breach of rules. And the police initially said, right, we're not going to investigate this because no one's made a complaint. Somebody has to file a complaint for us to make an investigation into that complaint, into that claim. So obviously, loads of people throughout England and throughout Britain went to the police and said, I'd like to make a complaint about Keir Starmer. He's breached COVID rules. So they have to make a complaint. It's been filed. It's been complained about. There's a, what do you call it, crime reference number for it now. It has to be investigated. So there was a few days between, obviously, those complaints taking place and the police thinking, what can I do? Damn, I don't want to investigate Keir Starmer. No, we're his chosen lot. We can't do that. What can we do? So they come up with this bullshit law that you can't be, and Keir Starmer can't be investigated if it's more than 3 years after COVID. So anyone that breached COVID rules, feel free to tell everyone about it now. No one knew about this law because it's made up. It is a made up law that they've brought in to protect Keir Starmer. But we can all use that to our benefit now. So if you breached COVID laws, if you done anything illegal during that time within the aspect of the COVID laws that were in place at that time, feel free to tell everyone about it. They can't do anything to you. And that's the country we live in. Just the police in this country, an absolute joke. No one respects you, police. Seriously, just all of you just call in sick. You do absolutely no good whatsoever. And especially in cities, when are you going to admit that you've lost control of the streets? London, look at London. Jesus. It's a crime-ridden cesspit. Birmingham, cesspit. Manchester, cesspit. When are you going to admit that you've lost control? Sweden, I know I like to ramble. Sweden, since New Year, since 2024 turned to 2025, has had over 30 bombings, 30 terrorist attacks. They won't call it terrorist attacks, but 30 terrorist attacks since the New Year. And only now, you think, how bad must it have been? How long has it taken to get to that point where you've got 30 bombings in just over a month? That's equivalent to nearly one a day, a bombing a day. How long has it been going on? How bad does it have to be to get to that point? And the police have only just admitted they've lost control of the streets. I don't know what Sweden's going to do, whether they're going to have to call in the army, call martial law. I don't know what they're going to do. But the police now in Sweden have admitted we have lost control of the streets. So I put it to you, British police, how bad does it need to get before you admit you've lost control of the streets? Because you have.